Live. Yo, we're live. We're live. What up, YouTube? What up, Twitch? Gang, gang, gang. Let me get my chat going. Ain't no Section 80 says we're live. Yo, yo. Let me get my chat going here. Dope. Yo. K Camp, what up, man? Rico on the track. Chris 90s. The usual guys. Nameless Beats. Class E. Ocean, what up? What up? Drill Bit. J Roach. Pavoe. What's going on, man? We got a dope episode this morning, man. Just pouring up my first cup of the day here. You know what I mean? Shout out to Starbucks for that French roast. Where's the French roast fans, man? Anyways, we got a dope interview today, man. We got Jeniuslevel, who man, this is actually a long one in the making right here, believe it or not. So Jenius is, you know, a 16, or he was 16. I think he was 16 when I met him. He was 15 or 16. But now he's actually, I believe he's 19-year-old producer here in based in Toronto. He's a 2-time JUNO nominated producer, which actually I didn't know what JUNOs were up until I was doing my research for this interview. Those are actually the like the equivalent of a Grammy in Canada. Those are like the Canadian Grammys. Okay, yeah, Starbucks gang. Okay. Where's the French roast gang though? I feel like you're a real coffee drinker if you drink the French roast. You know what I mean? Jenius is also, he became a Billboard #1 hit producer with his work on the Jackboys album. Co-produced What to Do, I believe, with let's check the co-production credits. I know Mike Dean was one of them. I want to say Wondagurl. Let's see here. London Sear and Mike Dean and Jenius produced that one. And this kid, his first major, he's been making beats since he was 8 years old. And you know, I'll let him tell his story about how he got into making beats. But you know, he got his first placement when he was 14 with Tory Lanez. So you know, I mean, he's just been grinding. He's actually a let me show you some stuff here. First of all, let's switch to the share screen before we bring him in. I see Jenius in the waiting room too. We're gonna get you in here in just a second, bro. If you're tuning into the pre-show, I guess you call this the pre-show. TV still going in on Blackie. It's funny. Man, shout out to the live streams, man. The live streams, TB's live streams have even turned me toxic, man. I hate to say it. I never thought it would happen, but you know, the live streams are crazy, man, and I've become toxic when I'm in those streams. It's almost like it brings out a whole different Dylan, man. I'm telling you. I don't know about the peer pressure to just roast anybody and everybody in those streams. Just is real, man. So stay away, man. If you don't like getting roasted, or if you don't know how to roast, but you know what I mean, if you got a little bit in you, man, pull up. Yeah, Leno says everyone gets roasted, nobody's safe. Bro, I go in those streams, I immediately get roasted. They're calling me Conor McGregor and all kinds of stuff. But that's just on a side note, but I want to show you guys some stuff. So make sure you guys go tap into Jeniuslevel. Him and his pops. So he's managed by his pops right here, Magic JLP. They're both really cool, man. I met both these guys in person. They're always down to network, you know, if it makes sense. So I would definitely give him a follow, shoot him a message, you know, if you got some fire samples. Maybe hit up his pops, because you know I know Genius probably gets a lot of messages at this point. But yeah, so interesting thing. So when I first met Jenius, this was after his Tory Lanez placement, was at our ProducerGrind VIP studio session event. It was actually the one with Zaytoven. It was VIP studio session 2, which was kind of like our first big event, like our first big production event. We had Zaytoven there, we had DJ Plug there, we had Black Metaphor there, we had man, who else, man? There was so many producers in the building. Chase the Money was there, Young Cross was there, Young Land was there, Beat Monster Mark was there. It was crazy, man. It was a crazy networking event for producers, man. It really kind of just set. That was shortly after I moved to Atlanta. That's about 8 months after I moved to Atlanta. So that really kind of set off my my relationships and stuff like here in Atlanta. And then I know a lot of producers that came. It kind of motivated them. But that's enough about that event. I want to just show you that Jenius actually pulled up. So not only did Jenius pull up, he came from Toronto. He participated. We did like a live beat critique session. So I'll show you just a little short clip. So this event was at Loud House Studios, which is like a big studio. They got 4 rooms. They got a big open lobby. It was like really like the perfect place to do an event. And this was like right when they were just opening. And so while, you'll see in this clip, so just know that during this clip, there were producers that were doing seminars in one room. There were some that were doing live cookups in the other room. We had like multiple things going on at once. And one of these sections was every producer came up and got to play their beats for Pulla Boy Shardy was there too. Yeah, I forgot, man. We had a lot of young legends in there, man. JB, of course, was there. So basically, you got to come up, hook up your beat to the aux, play your beats, and get some feedback. Like Chase gave feedback, Pulla Boy gave feedback. Everyone, Mark was giving feedback. It was just really dope. So I'm gonna just play you guys this clip real quick. And this is not a sales pitch to come to our events. I'm just really trying to give you guys context.
I'm the Jenius. I'm a 16-year-old producer from Toronto, and I've been producing for 8 years.
Yeah, I was right. He was 16. D Sims in the building. You see Land back there in the cut. See, we had a professional film team. It was dope. So not only did Jenius come to the event and play his beats, he actually was the winner. He was the winning producer. So I'm pretty sure he went home with some equipment, and then he also got to come back the next day and do a collab with DJ Plug on the spot. So just want to show you guys those things, man. That's how I was introduced to Jeniuslevel. He came down with his pops. His pops is his manager, and man, those two together, like, they're like peanut butter and jelly, man. They really complement each other, and that came out good, man. That sounded dope, but nah, they really do complement each other, and I think it'd be dope, man, to if you're in a position to have someone in your family be your manager. But yeah, man. So let's give Jenius a warm welcome, man. Let's blow up the chat. Let's get it going. Throw some hundreds, throw some fires, throw some gems, you know what I mean? And we will get him in here. Yo, yo.
Yo, you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on, bro?
I'm good. You?
Doing good, man. It's been a minute, man.
I know, it's been forever, actually.
But you're still.
When's the last time I seen you?
It was that VIP studio session. Yeah, I believe. You were 16, but you're still. It's been a minute, but you're still young as hell.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, man. But you've done a lot of things since then. That I've been seeing, and definitely excited to hear about them, hear about your story. How you started making beats, and how that first placement came about at 14, and just want to catch up on everything that you have been going on, though, man. So I guess let's get it started, man. Let us know how it all started.
So my dad used to be a producer back in the day. He used to produce for local artists in Toronto when he was in high school and the later years to come. But his parents and my grandparents weren't really like supportive of him being a musician because they're first generation Jamaican. They immigrated here. They're not wanting their son to become a producer or musician. They want to be a doctor, lawyer, or whatever. So my dad was just doing, and he really liked making, like he loved making beats, and he was still doing that even like after I was born and stuff. So it really, when I was 8, he was making beats one time. I really walked in on him making beats, and I was like, yo, what are you doing? And he showed me like the basic ropes of FL Studio and what he had
he was
going
using
on
FL.
there. He was using, he started off on MPC,
okay,
like the Akai MPC, but then he went with the times and got FL Studio 8. FL Studio 8 was the first one that I used, but so he showed me FL Studio when I was 8, and then like me and him were making beats together for like 2 years, just as like a father-son bonding type thing,
Yeah.
And after that,
he was making boom bap type beats, right?
Yeah, exactly. So me and him, like, I wasn't even using like piano roll or anything for the longest time on FL Studio. I was using like just a step sequencer and making a bunch of different like drum loops and putting basses together and whatnot.
Yeah, like flipping samples kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So me and him were making like boom bap type beats for like 2-3 years. After that, like he was like, obviously he didn't have that much time anymore, it's like he was going to work and whatever, and I was still just at home. So I was went about making beats myself and just going on FL Studio and learning how to use different things and how to make different types of beats and whatever myself. And then after a couple of years, I was like, yo, like my beats are starting to sound like, sick. They're starting to sound good. Like there's a lot of people that are listening to my beats and family members are like, yo, you should really keep going at this. So
what were you mostly doing to get better at this time? Just like watching tutorials and stuff like that?
It was really interesting. I was just like working, like, but it wasn't really work. It was really just me spending a lot of time making beats, just trying to get better, but it wasn't I was never had the sole purpose of, wanting to be a producer when I get older at this time. It was really just me, like, if anyone was going to go play soccer or play basketball, it was like that, you're just having fun with it. So I was just making beats and just trying to get my stuff to sound sicker because I wanted myself and my beats to just be good, So after a while, like I was like about 11, 12, I put like together like this mixtape called Genius at Work. So it was like a little, you can find it on Datpiff if Datpiff is still around, but I burned like about 100 copies on CD and I started handing them out at school, and just a bunch of different people were just to get my, like just to see where this would go, because I really like music, So
they were just beats, or you were rapping too?
No, it was just beats. It's just an instrumental mixtape. So
gotcha.
So I had had that going, and I was handing out, elementary school, 11 years old, handing out mixtapes and getting my stuff out there. After that, like I just kept going with it, working with local artists in Toronto. And then when I was 14 and I went into grade 9, I was working with this guy named Portion, and he introduced me to like Tory Lanez. And like I did a song with Tory Lanez when I was 14. And this is like right before Tory dropped his debut album. He was like the hottest artist at the time. So it was like a really big thing for me, And especially being 14, you're in school and whatnot, like you're the guy, you're coming to school, you're the guy. So after that,
yeah, I was gonna say one of my questions was, what was it like, getting placements and stuff, still being in school? Like,
it's sick. Like it's sick. Like it's like one of the sickest things, especially like I'm gonna get into it later into the studio, but later in the story. But like I came up with Killy as well. Like I was working with him from like before he was like, So after that, I met Wondagurl like the following year after that when I was 15. My dad had DM'd her saying, yo, this is my son and this is what he does. And, I want you guys to get in and make some music together. So she answered the DM and she was down. And then I got in the studio with her. Then we just clicked instantly. Like, like that's like real big sis. Like, like that's one of my mentors, So after that we clicked, and, I get into it about what we what we're doing now. But after that, we went to Atlanta. I went to Atlanta for the first time with her, and we did this culture clash thing. Atlanta has Red Bull Culture Clash. So I went to go do that with her. I came back, then grade 11 starts now. Then I go
how was the Culture Clash event?
It was sick. The Culture Clash event was sick. She had it sick. Popcorn came and did his thing, and shut down the place because Atlanta's predominantly Jamaican. There's a lot of Jamaicans out there, so really shut down the thing like that.
Was there a lot of networking opportunity, or like was there stuff for producers specifically?
I was just meeting artists and whatnot. Like I met Nesty there for the first time. Yeah, I just I was just there like enjoying my time there, because it was like one of my first trips out like in America to make music. So
yeah.
Give me a second here. So yeah, I grade 11 starts now, and then I go to Atlanta to work with, or like to do the ProducerGrind thing, the event. So I go there, I'm networking, I win the event, obviously, and then had met DJ Plug through you, and Bobby Critical through you, and a bunch of different people. Zaytoven was there as well. I was working with them. Then I come back to Toronto, and like, I have a buzz going, like my name is in the city. People are seeing that I'm going to America and working and doing things and working with
I gotta stop you right there, because I think that's a big gem. We were talking about this the other day, specifically TB Digital, because he lives in Richmond, which is a small city, and we were talking about how the power of being in a small city and kind of being like a big fish in a small pond versus dropping everything and moving. I mean, you're based kind of like, I know you're not directly in Toronto, you're like a little bit outside of Toronto, but but I mean, so I guess it kind of is similar. But we were just basically saying that instead of just dropping everything and moving to a major music city like Atlanta or LA, there can be a lot of benefit to stay in your city where you have like your roots and your connections, especially if you're doing something to kind of make money, like engineering, shooting videos, or selling beats in your city. And then when you come to places like Atlanta and you're meeting new people, you're taking pictures, and they see you like networking and going to these events, being in studios with people, there's a lot of power in that. People are like, damn, he's really out and about, moving and doing his thing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like for me, like I always knew I had to be that guy, like not in a sense of like, just being the sickest producer, but just being the sickest myself, being the best genius I can be, So I was really just networking, and I don't even really like using the network term, but like really just being out here, like going outside, because I think that's like one of the most important things for being, if in anything, if being a rapper, producer, engineer, you can't just be in your crib. Like, you got to go outside. You got to show face. There's a million people that be in my DMs or your DMs saying, yo, I'm a producer and I'm next up. But like, you're not going to hold them to the same respect as a person that would go to your event and say that to your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So, you really got to go outside and show people what you're about, because the internet, you can just hide behind the screen, so you can put a facade up. So, people really get to see the real you in person. So,
yeah, I even heard you talk about in your and I don't mean to keep interrupting you, but I do want to, highlight these certain points.
Right.
In your Kids Take Over interview, you were saying that, like just staying in your bedroom cooking up beats all day is not really going to cut it. Like you really got to.
Nah. It definitely doesn't. I mean, I make beats. I mean, I've been making beats for a long time, obviously, as I said. And I was in that little stone where I was making beats and I'm trying to get my sound solidified. But once I figured out, I can just go outside and meet these people. After I turned 13, and then 1 year after that, like of me really going outside and going to studio every single day, I linked up and made a song with Tory Lanez, So like the results are there, it shows you right in front of your face. And I'll even get into it later about how like what I just said even applies to now. So after I did the event, I came back to the city in Toronto, had in my name going, and then I had DM'd Killy saying, yo, like, you know, I want to work, you know, because I had produced a song with him through one of my boys. Like they did a song together, and like he really liked the song. So I said, yo, I produced a song, but we haven't linked up. I haven't met you yet, you know, so let's get in the studio. So I had DM'd him. We got in the studio when I came back to Toronto after that event. We made one of these songs. It's unreleased called Wishing Well. After that, I had was getting in the studio still with him, and then he was working on his debut album. He was really on the rise. Like he was like one of the hottest artists like in the industry at that moment in terms of rappers. So we were working together on a debut album, and I had still been working with Wondagurl, and Wondagurl was working on it too. So it was just like easy, like everything that the stars kind of aligned. You know what I mean? Like there was like seamless the way everyone was working together. So I had called after school one day. I had called Wondagurl and Killy to come pull up to the studio, and they both said yes. So they both pulled up. So when we got in the studio, we made one of these songs on his debut project called Never Let Up, on his album called Surrender Your Soul, his debut album. So after that came out, had went on a Canadian tour with him. We went to Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, obviously, Vancouver, and then he went to Alberta, but I couldn't go to Alberta because I was still in school. I couldn't miss that much school. But so I went on a Canadian tour with him.
Yeah, what was that like, man? What was that?
It was sick. It was sick, you know. Like it was sick. I really got to explore and be on tour and go and see all these people at a young age, you know what I mean? So like I was still 16. So it was just a sick experience, you know. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Were you guys like working like you know, in between shows and stuff like that, or like after the shows kind of going to studios?
Nah, because like we had spent so much time doing that before the album came out and before the touring that it was just like, you know, it's time for touring, you know. Gotcha. And I was still making beats, you know. I always make beats, but like in terms of getting in the studio and stuff, like nah, it wasn't one of those, because I mean, if you're doing a show every day or every other day, is tiring for an artist, you know. So I don't want to just push it on him like, yo, we got to go to the studio. You know?
And that was his first tour?
That was his first tour too.
So yeah, he was probably living in the moment, like, yo.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
he went on an American tour after that.
That's fire.
But so after that, I did the Killy thing, and then I came back to school after all that, and like it was like a big thing. Like my principals and whatnot were trying to make announcements. I was like, yo, chill, because I was still like, even though I was that guy, I wasn't really trying to be like that guy in people's faces, you know. I wanted to be like, you know me, you know, I'm that guy. I'm not trying to be one of those people that's like, I'm in your face 24/7. So remember, I finished grade 11, then I go to LA for the first time, and I'm working with this producer called Prep Vision, and another producer called his name's G-Rai. They're both a part of like PartyNextDoor's camp, and I met them through one of my good friends, Tyler, and we were making tons and tons of beats. I was literally the only thing I was doing down there, just making beats with them. So after that, I came back and I was like, yo, LA was a sick trip. I made some of the sickest music ever that I've made, sickest beats. So I came back, and then I was still working with Killy, and I gave him some of those beats. He made a song on his recent project called Destiny that I produced. That was off of my first LA trip, like the beats I made off my first LA trip. So anyways, beginning of grade 12 starts now, and the first 2 weeks of it, I skipped to go to Atlanta and LA again. So I've missed my whole pep rally and the grade 12s coming in, and you know, all that whole fiasco. So
were your teachers understanding and stuff like that, or were they kind of like
yeah, but I never fully ever explained what I was doing, and they can never understand too. Yeah. So like I never tried to really explain, because every time I would, they'd be like, what? Be like, what?
You rap, you make beats.
Yeah. So like I never went through the full thing of explaining it, but some of them were understanding, you know, but like, you know, I still had to get my stuff done regardless, because that's their job to make sure that I get my stuff done. So, you know, I still have to do work here and there when I was on trips and whatnot. essays and whatever, but you know, I still had to get it done. So I couldn't argue that. So I missed the first 2 weeks. The first week I was in Atlanta, the second week I was in LA. And then when I was in Atlanta, I was working in Mean Streets with like Don Cannon and a bunch of those people. And that's where I met Jack Harlow for the first time. And this is way before like he was like he had a little thing. He just dropped his album called, or his EP, whatever, called Loose. Like it just had dropped. So I met him right after that. Made my first song with him. It's on his recent project called Once May Comes.
How did that whole situation happen? Like where you went to Mean Streets with Don Cannon and all them? Like,
so I went with Wondagurl.
Okay.
So me and Wondagurl went on that trip together. She brought me to Atlanta and LA, and we were working together. She works at Mean Street a lot because her and Don Cannon, whatever, are cool. So she had a session with Jack Harlow, supposed to have a session with Jack Harlow, but she had some other stuff she had to do. She had to go to some other session. So she didn't want to just cancel on Jack because Jack's one of, you know, Don Cannon's artists, whatever. So he didn't want to just like, you know, blow him by like that. So she told me to stay at the studio while she goes do her thing and then facilitate that session and be the producer.
Right. Yeah,
so she passed it off, you know, she showed me like, yo, you gotta do this. So I was like, okay, bet, you know. So I in the studio by myself. I'm like in there for an hour before he comes, because like he had a session at like 6 and I was there for a whole day before that. So all his brethren, all his friends were walking in and were like, yo, like, you know, like, are you supposed to be here? Yeah, like all his people them are supposed to be there. Or they walked in and they're like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you know, are you supposed to be here right now? And I was like, yeah, like session Wondagurl told me to stay here. You know, and then like I had backed up Jack and like, you know, I met him before that, but it wasn't like, you know, so he walks in, he's like, oh, yo, Jenius, like whatever, you know, it's good, let's get some work in. So I was playing some beats and whatnot, and you know, he was messing with them, like it was off the rip, like I had beats ready, I was making beats, you know, so I was prepared for any sort of situation. I knew how serious it gets when you're in America. You can be in sessions 3, 4, 5 sessions in a day, like, you know, so you gotta have beats for whoever, whenever. So I had beats ready and then he was recording on them, and then, you know, we just kicked off since then. Then I go to LA and I'm working with Johnny Yukon. I do have a lot of songs with him out already, but so I can't come back to Toronto and I'm like, yo, like I have to finish grade 12 and I'm ready for this producer thing. Like, you know, like I had the mindset from the time I did the Tory Lanez songs when I was 14 to really be like, this is what I want to do. Now I had to finish high school so I can go and, you know, be a road runner, you know, go and do my thing and do my legwork across Atlanta, LA, New York, Miami, wherever, because I couldn't do that when I was in school. Because like, you know, I couldn't.
Shit, you were still getting a lot done though.
Yeah, exactly. You know? So I had to finish grade 12. So grade 12, I was just locking in on school, like, you know, making sure I passed or whatever, and still making my beats and sending them out. Sending lots of beats to Jack, a bunch of different people. But after that, I got nominated for a JUNO in grade 12, and that was a really big thing for me, like on a personal level, because like for those who don't know what a JUNO is, it's like the Canadian version of a Grammy. Yeah. So I got nominated with that with Killy. Okay. And then after that, like it was a big thing at my school as well. Then I graduated. I finally graduated. I'm like, yes, you know, like I've been waiting for this moment so I can really do my thing, you know.
So were you managing to keep good grades and stuff throughout high school, or not really?
It started as that. Like when I never really wanted to do anything post-secondary. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I had to get good grades to, you know, get to that point. So I was getting good grades for the first couple years. And then once I really did the Tory Lanez song and figured out like, yo, this is what I really, really want to do, I kind of shied away with school and did what I had to do to make sure I passed. So my grades weren't sick like the later years, but in the beginning years, school is like super duper easy for me, you know. Like,
and then what were your parents? What were your parents at this point in time? Were they? I mean, obviously, I know your dad's your manager, so he's like, you know, it's definitely cool with it. But were they also pushing you like, hey, like, you know, make sure you don't let your grades slip and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was always like, yo, make sure your mom doesn't say anything, because like my mom, like, she obviously supports my music and what I do, but you know, she's a mother first.
Facts,
you know what I mean? So she's gonna make sure I have to get good grades and whatnot, or make sure I do what I can, you know, so she doesn't say anything, you know. So my dad was like, just make sure your mother never says anything to me, because he was my manager. So like anything that I would do where I'd focus on music over school and I would fail class or whatever, which never happened, but if it did happen, it would come right back to him, because he's the person who showed me music, you know? So
Yeah.
I just had to make sure I didn't put that, you know, that burden on him or whatever. So after I graduated grade 12, I moved to LA right away. Like right away. I was focusing on trying to go to America. Like that was one of the main things. So me and Wondagurl got a crib together out there, and my boy London as well, London Sear. So I moved there in, I would like to say, September of last year. So I graduated in June of 2019. So I moved out there September 2019. And the first week I'm out there, I'm like, yo, like there's people I knew in LA already, but it wasn't like that. So Wondagurl was showing me the ropes and people, you know, I have to link up with or whatever. So I was working in the crib like just every day. I knew I wasn't going to no sessions like that. I was going to sessions here and there, but it wasn't crazy like that, you know? So I was just working, making beats all day. Then Wondagurl tells me to come to the studio one time, and like it was a session with Travis. Wow. So it was completely like random. Like, you know, I knew she was working with him, but like I never expected her to, you know, just bring me, you know, because I never wait or ask for no type of handouts from nobody, no matter who it is. I want to make sure, yo, if I wanted to get in the studio with Travis, I'll make sure I can try and do that myself without Wondagurl. And that's not to say that she can't help me or put me onto that, but it's like, yo, you got to make sure, you know, you got to make sure that you can do stuff yourself. So I was trying to get that on my own. So she had put me into that studio, like, you know, God bless her for that. And I had linked with Jackboys, Don Tolliver, the whole Cactus Jack, and put me in the studio, and I was working with all of those people. And that was those times where I started working with them was the times where they started working on Jackboys. So I made so many songs with them, like all of them, like every single one of them. I have tons of songs with them. And What to Do on Jackboys is one of the songs that came out of those sessions from Wondagurl bringing me to those sessions. Okay. So that came out about like that for the Travis placement.
So yeah, man, what was that like? Because, you know, that's obviously like, you know, you've been working with big artists, but I feel like that was like a super step up to start working with, you know, Travis and his camp.
It was a crazy session. Like it was in terms of, you know, it was really, the word I'm trying to look for is like, it was surreal. I knew that I could do it and be in those sessions with those guys, but you don't really know until you're in those sessions and you're really doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can, I believe in myself and I know what I can do, you know? So it was really just a surreal time. You know, I was working with the people that I had been listening to throughout all of high school, and, you know, so it was really just surreal.
That's fire, man.
Crazy energy.
So yeah, man, please continue the story.
So after I worked on Jackboys, I was still working with Jack Harlow. I was doing tons and tons and tons and tons of songs with Jack Harlow. And then I had done 4 songs on his recent EP that he came out with called Sweet Action. Okay. I did Hey Big Head, Too Stylish, Out Front, and I'm missing one more.
That's the one where that was Poppins on? That's that album?
Yeah, the same one. I'm missing one more, and I can't remember what the names of them are. But
yeah, so many placements you can't even remember them all.
But yeah, because I've done so many songs with that guy. So I did 4 songs on his recent EP, and I'm just right after that. Like as soon as his EP dropped, that was in March. As soon as EP dropped in March, like quarantine started, you know. So I had to come back from LA and go back to Toronto to, you know, stay healthy and safe, because America's, or California specifically, is on a crazy one with this whole COVID-19 thing. So I had to come back to Toronto and, you know, just lock in and be back on my same. So, you know,
man.
That's really where I'm at right now. I'm in Toronto. So
anxious to get back to work, or?
Honestly, this is not too far from home because I had just moved out in September of last year. And like what I'm doing right now in terms of sending beats out and still, you know, FaceTiming people and then, you know, keeping my name out there is like, I was just doing that this time last year, you know? So it's not like too far from home from that. You know what I mean? So
what
that.
what has like quarantine taught you? Like, was it actually nice? Like, cause I'm pretty sure shit started to move pretty fast once you moved out to LA. Was it nice to kind of like take a step back, kind of reground yourself, or?
Yeah, it was definitely. Yeah, I definitely regrounded myself because I was away from a lot of my peoples out here for a long time. You know,
yeah.
The only peoples I really had out there from Toronto were just like Wondagurl and, you know, London. So, really just, yeah, I was regrounding myself. I still kept it going at the same pace. So I'm still keep it going at the same pace at which it started at. So, you know, it's just a change because, you know, you're in the studio with all these artists and now you just gotta resend beats and, you know, not be in the studio with them. So
yeah,
just gotta keep it going, you know?
Most definitely. Man, fire story, man. I love the way you piece that together. And you know what I mean, you know, I definitely got a nice big picture of you know, how it all went. A couple things, man, I just want to point out just for the listeners, man, is one thing that really stuck out to me is when you said you just wanted to be, you focus on being the best genius that you can. And I think that's really important, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as like, and then like obviously, you know, you've been blessed. You have some certain circumstances that not everyone can just duplicate. Not everyone has. Like you have a supportive family, you know what I mean? Your dad, you know, kind of knows that he kind of came in knowing the game a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have that trust between him and you. And you know, I'm sure he, you know, was helping you, you know, get down to Atlanta and come to these trips and stuff like that. And then another thing is, man, your relationship with Wondagurl. You know what I mean? That's something that
it was such a blessing. Yeah, it was really a blessing. You know, everything that I had been through and what had got me here, like anybody that really knows me from the city, in terms of, you know, people like Francis Scott Heat that you had, he can tell you know, those people can tell you really how much work I had put in to get to this point and how much work I'm going to continue to put in, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's not like people that see me now and see me coming into the game just through this Travis placement and think, oh, he just got lucky. Just another one of those sample guys that just sends out and got a lucky placement. No, it's never been like that for me ever. Every artist I have worked with, except for Pop Smoke, rest in peace, I have met and worked with in person. Every single one of them. Young Bands, Travis, Don Tolliver, Sheck West, Killy, Jack Harlow, to whoever, Tory Lanez, whoever. Yeah. I've worked with them in person and, you know, I really got there. You know what I mean? It was never like, you know, I got lucky with anything. You know, I really had to put in the work for a very, very long time. I'm 10 years into this game. Started when I was 8 and I'm 18 now, you know? So it's not like, yeah, so you know what I mean? It's not like how one of those.
No, yeah, no. I mean, so I was gonna finish that thought. You know, I was gonna say you do have like these certain elements that are major blessings, but at the same time, you know, you weren't using those as a crutch. You weren't relying on those. You know, you and your pops were still reaching out to DMs. You know, trying to spark relations. Exactly. Like, yo, let's go down to Atlanta. Let's go to this event. Just kind of see what happens. See who we can brush shoulders with. See who we can. And that kind of stuff is big, and that kind of goes back to that big fish, small pond kind of thing because. Man, there's power in you come down to, you know, a culture clash or an event and you just happen to be able to get a picture with somebody or you're in the same room with somebody. Like even for myself, when I first started coming down to Atlanta, coming to Zaytoven's events, like I was actually paying to go to his events. And, you know, back in my town, they're like, yeah, yo, you know, bro, you're working with Zaytoven. You're in the studio with Zaytoven. You know, little did they know I just paid my money to be part of a seminar, you know, and I would tell them that I wouldn't like fake it. But you know what I mean? That's still like, yo, man, even that is dope. Like you're still, man, you're in the studio with Zaytoven and shit like that. Yeah. And I just think like the power of investing in yourself and making those, you know, going back to being the best you that you can be and, you know, having your portfolio, your Instagram, your face card looking right,
Yeah,
and brushing shoulders, like, man, that kind of stuff can lead to you know, other opportunities and stuff,
exactly.
which you know you've already explained.
Exactly. One thing I touch on, like adding on to that too, is like, yo, you gotta know yourself too. Know what you can and can't do. For me, I know like I can't. I'm not a rapper, so I never became a rapper. So I became a producer. I made the beats and whatnot. After that, like, you know, I know that like if I put myself into the music, like it cannot ever be replicated. You know what I do and my sound and genius as a person, how I came up and what I came from, and being from a Jamaican background, coming in a small town on the outside of Toronto, same area as Boy Wonder, T Minus, and all those people. Like that cannot be replicated. So as long as I keep that true to myself and not try and be no next person, then I will always be around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I feel like everyone should listen to that and know like where you came from, no matter what you do and you know how you were raised and whatnot. Like that is you. That's not nobody else, and you got to embrace that so you can be the know yourself to get know the future. You know what I mean? Can't
Yeah.
ignore the past and try to be the next Metro Boomin or next Wondagurl or next Sunny Digital or those people there. You got those people are there because they're themselves. And you know that because you know Sunny Digital, you know all those people. Like, you know those people are unique. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not the next whoever. They're those. That's their name. You know what I mean? And all those people have those similar characteristics of them being themselves and having their own sound because they know where they came from, and they know that if you know where you come from, you know where to go. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
that's one of the most important things. Definitely.
No, 100%,
Sure.
bro. So I a couple things, man. So for those in the chat, man, if you want to tap into the Q&A, I know we already got a couple in there. Hades, I see you. Keg, I see you. We got a couple people that have been waiting to get in for live Q&A. We're gonna add them to the Zoom call to ask you a question. But if you want to go ahead and
Okay.
jump in line, please go ahead and do so. I do want to ask you a couple more questions too. And chat, man, if you guys, even if you don't want to jump into the Q&A and you got a question to throw in the chat, you know, throw it in there. Like even if it's like an overrated, underrated. I want to bring back the overrated, underrated segments. We used to do those on the podcast, and I think those would be dope to do here on the morning show through chat. So if you guys got an overrated, underrated, I will keep my eye on the chat, and I'll ask Genius that. But yeah, man. So let's talk about like more or technical nerdy stuff, man. What kind of plugins and stuff? What are your go-to plugins these days?
I don't really have a go-to. Every time I go and make beats, it's just whatever I feel like using. In terms of effects, like Cableguys, shout out Cableguys, all those people, they
Yeah, shout out
support
Cable
me
Guy.
and they send me shit. They send me stuff to work on and use. So Cableguys, all their plugins they have. I use Omnisphere. I got Omnisphere for my birthday when I was like 13, and I still use it. Nexus is one of those plugins that's just forever, like one of those plugins.
Yeah, you on Nexus 3?
I do have Nexus 3. I just got it actually, but right at the beginning of quarantine. It's a sick one. Nexus 3, the Reffects plugins, really just those. I always try and switch it up and get new stuff.
You mess with Kontakt?
I do sometimes though. Like Kontakt, that's only I can only use Kontakt when I'm working on myself, like working by myself, because like the stuff takes so long to load up sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Do you ever have days where you're kind of just making samples and days where you're making full beats, or you kind of just?
It's scattered. It's honestly really scattered. I make beats all the time, but sometimes when I'm making a beat and I don't like what I did, or I only like a certain element to it, I'll maybe just take the melody and just leave it as a melody and work on it later and export it and just work on it later, or I'll just finish it right there and then. But I mean, most of the time I make full beats. Most of the time, yeah.
Taj Beat says, "Are you on FL20 or FL11?"
FL20. I use both though. Sometimes because FL11 has like a certain sound to it, and FL20 has a certain sound to it. But most of the time, I'm using FL20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tamara Lucia says, how did you get your name?
Jenius came from so when I first started producing, I had liked my name Julius. My real government name is Julius Alexander. So I had liked Julius, and I didn't want it to have Julius Beats. And my family members and teachers and stuff, I would get good grades and stuff. They'd always call me a little genius from here and there. And I knew creatively, like, I was different and can embrace that. So I put the genius and then the J from Julius instead of the G, and made Genius with the J. And then that's where it just came out. And then the level part came from me just wanting to level up and just get up. So getting to the genius level. So yeah, that's really where my name came from.
Fire. I guess last technical question, man. What do you put on the master channel?
Soft clipper.
Soft clipper.
Soft clipper. Sometimes I put reverb on it too. You never know.
Really? On the master channel?
Yeah, sometimes it's just finesse it. Sometimes you can get stuff to sound sick, different. You gotta experiment. There's no rules to it, There's no rules to it. So I always
what do you do? If you put it on the master, do you like cut the low end out so it's only on the mids and highs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Hey man, little Jim, man. Go home and try it out for yourself, man. Overrated, underrated DX says Bayer Dynamics DT headphones. You use those?
I only use Apple earbuds, so I couldn't speak on those. Apple earbuds are the best headphones to me.
Okay. Dope. You can smell the soft clipper answer a mile away. Yeah, that's what everybody says. RC20, overrated, underrated?
Underrated. I feel like people don't know how to use it correctly. They just be using the presets, but if you really start with just the default and then add it yourself, you can really get it to sound sick.
Most definitely. So are you predominantly flipping samples these days, or are you making full melodies and beats? What would you say?
I'd say about 50-50. Actually, 60-40 in terms of me making melodies versus me making working on samples. Sometimes I just want to be making beats with just adding samples and just using what people send me, but I can still make my own hit. You know what I mean? I can still make my own melodies and make my own sick beat by myself.
Okay.
So yeah.
Dragon Body, overrated, underrated, emailing loops to producers.
I don't really do that, so I guess you could say it's overrated because I have like an email where people send me stuff and I use it like very rarely. You know what I mean? And a lot of people that send loops, I can tell like they're even bad with it. They'll send it and have like 100 different emails in the send. Like you can see it. So I don't know. It depends if you know the person in person, like really know them, or you're just sending it blindly.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Mr. Calisthenics, favorite 808?
Mine.
Oh, you got an 808?
I have my own 808. Yeah, I can hear it in my drum kit. I have a drum kit coming out soon.
Okay, coming out soon.
Yeah.
Dope. You dropping it independently through Splice or what?
I'm still working on that. I'm still working on which way I'm gonna drop it. But it's already done though. So,
okay. Hey man, don't leave us out of the negotiation. Maybe we can work something out, man.
For sure.
Tell Magic to hit us up, man.
Yes,
overrated. Are kicks dead? I guess that'll be a question.
Are kicks dead? No.
Shout out to
no.
Gavin. They're not dead.
Who would think that kicks are dead?
It's a conversation, man. We've been a lot of people have been saying.
No, they're definitely not dead. Definitely not dead. I mean, I'm from Toronto, so like kicks. Every producer, boy Wonder, Wondagurl, T-, all the people there have hard kicks. So I was raised on hard kicks. Francis too. So kicks are never gonna be dead to me. That's like a part of Toronto sound. So
yeah, I think where that conversation stems from is kind of like the Zay 808 going really hard. You know what I mean? And like the Jetson type beats. Like where there's not really a kick and stuff because the 808 smacks so hard.
Yeah, no. Sometimes you don't need a kick. I make beats with a kick sometimes too. So it just depends. It depends. But kicks are definitely not dead. Definitely not dead.
Dope. All right, cool, man. So let's go ahead and bring in some folks. Like I said, if you guys want to go and tap in to someone said Gunboy started kicks are dead. Yeah, shout out to Gunboy. Dylan said a friend said that I wouldn't say that. Just word on the streets. That's drill bit. All right, man. Let's go ahead. Let's bring Hades in. If you guys want to tap in for Q&A, go ahead, man. Jump in line. There's not too many people in, so you can definitely get a chance to come in and ask this young goat a question, man.
Yo.
Hades. Oh man, he dipped.
Yeah.
Damn, Hades. Oh, there you go. I was gonna say Hades abandoned the stream, man.
Yo, what's good, fellas?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Not much. Let me just get my image sorted. I don't know what's going on. Probably from the last live stream.
Okay.
Let's get this out of here.
Hades with the ill setup always, man.
Gotta rap. Gotta rap.
Green screen.
Video. I think we're good. All right. Y'all can see me?
Yes, sir.
What's good, fellas?
Damn, that setup's making me want to cook up, man.
Listen, you got to get yourself in an environment that makes you want to cook up all the time, right?
Yeah.
Facts.
That's what it's about. What's good, Genius?
I'm good. You?
I'm good. Wagwan, brethren.
I'm there, yeah, fam. I'm there, yeah.
The brethren vibe.
And the brethren vibes. Yeah, I got a lot of Jamaican friends, man. I'm actually Haitian, but 80% of my peoples are Jamaican, so I'll be rocking with the vibes too, man. So listen, man, regarding your pops, man, and this is for everybody else tuning in, man. What you have with your pops, man, is, you already know this, right? But they probably don't know, man. It's very, very rare, right? And very
special.
At the end of the day, to be able to have all of that experience, knowledge, influences be passed on to you and influence you, that's something that, you know, it's very rare for a lot of people to get that. I was fortunate enough to get that. My dad exposed me to a lot of jazz music, he wasn't into hip hop. You know, he's from the islands, right? So very traditional, but you know, the Caribbean music, of course, jazz, James Brown, Miles Davis, you know, you name it, all those classical artists from back in the day. And a lot of that kind of, you know, trickled over into, you know, my production now. So, you know, for those that have, you know, fathers or mothers who are artists or whatever, I think it's really important that if you kind of shun them away when it comes to them giving you advice, or don't take a lot of the influences that and experience that they have, you know, with you and incorporate in some of your, you know, day-to-day production, you know, you're kind of missing out. I mean, do you kind of feel that way?
100%. I was raised on reggae, like from Sizzla to Capleton to Bob Marley to Damien Jr. Gong, very people I was listening to, you know, and up until I was 10, I wasn't even listening to no hip hop music at all. That's all I was. The only time you'd hear me listening to that was I was in the whip or, you know, listening to on the radio, you know. So,
but was it more by choice that you didn't listen to it, or you kind of forced to listen to it because that's what Dad was playing in the car at the time?
No, it was honestly by choice, because my dad listened to hip hop. Like, you know, he was listening to Nas and Mobb Deep. Those are like the first people I started listening to for hip hop. I started when I started listening to hip hop, really diving into it, like around the same time that Eminem dropped Recovery. So that's when I was like really, really listening to hip hop. And like my music was, you can even hear in my music, like the songs I've done, like the 808s and stuff, the drum patterns are very different, creative, and they hit a different way. And I think that's for me just listening to a bunch of different reggae music when I was younger and dancehall. So I definitely think that you don't need to shun that away. Like, you know, that's where you come from, especially your heritage.
It's funny you said that, because I was kind of forced into it. My parents weren't into hip hop. Again, they're from the islands, right? So whatever they had on the radio, that's what I was listening to. It was either, you know, his music or my mom listening to pop music here and there. So I didn't have much of a choice. As I got older, then I started, you know, picking up on hip hop and all that. But it's funny you said influences like Mobb Deep and all that other stuff. What were some of your dad's influences as far as producers and artists as well, other than like Mobb Deep and things like that?
His influences are about the same as mine. He showed me like a producer called Bobby Digital, who produced a lot of SZA stuff back in the day.
Is that Bobby Digital? That's RZA, right?
No. This is No. This is Bobby Digital. Is he's a Jamaican producer.
Okay.
He's a Jamaican. Yeah.
Okay.
So he my dad was he was influenced by him because SZA is his favorite artist, and he showed me SZA when I was young, and SZA is my favorite artist. So nice. a lot of the influences that he has are the same as me. You know, there's not really a big disconnect at all. Like we're almost the same person in a sense.
That's what's up. So all that rubbed off on you, really?
Yeah, it really did, because I mean, he showed me making beats, so he was the first person to show me how to use the steps you can surround FL Studio, or you know, click in the drums and do drums a certain way. So you know, his influences are definitely mine because he was the person that showed me how to make beats. You know,
absolutely, absolutely,
it only makes sense.
And you Bobby Digital too. It says he passed away.
Yeah, he had passed away recently.
Oh, R.I.P. R.I.P. Yeah. R.I.P. And do you feel like, you know, you having your father not only as an influence, a mentor, but also as a manager kind of keeps you grounded?
100%.
It would have been a little bit different had he not been a part of your endeavor?
I don't think I would be a producer if he wasn't my manager. And the reason why I say that is because he was the person who had introduced me to so many different people, including Wondagurl, including all these different people that like I probably would still maybe be doing something else, because the opportunities he has presented for me in the sessions and places he has brought me as a manager role, not even as a father, like I probably would have not been making music, to be honest.
I feel you. And what kind of advice can you give everyone in regards, because, you know, not everyone has a dad that knows Wondagurl or this producer or that producer, right? So what advice would you give everyone as far as, you know, how to go about getting noticed and getting that exposure?
I feel like one thing I've been touching on this podcast is saying that you have to go outside. I was seeing that, you know, local artists and stuff were having release parties and events and whatever, you know, concerts, whatever. You're gonna meet people if you go outside, you know. So I still work like I don't got nothing, nobody trying to support me, you know what I mean? I still work like I have to do this on my own. And I got to do it on my own. I got to make the beats myself. You know, I have support from the people like Wondagurl, like my pops, from Francis Got Heat, from a bunch of different people, you know? So I would say definitely just to go outside and, you know, network, meet people, show face. Because there's so many people that are living on the internet and only stay solely on the internet. People are going to respect you more than if they see you in person. 100%. I agree. And I think, and even on me, myself, I would respect you. I would respect anybody more if I see them in person. You know what I mean? And even you hopping right now, like I respect you just for that, instead of you DMing me on Instagram and you were saying the same stuff, you know?
Yeah. Well, you can ask. I'm pretty much here whenever I can be in the morning. If not on the Zoom, I'm definitely watching the show. So he can't get rid of me. He's tried. But,
real quick, shout out to Hades. Real quick though, hey man, I feel like it's a $1 million question. What did your dad DM Wondagurl at? Got her to respond back and started that relationship. Do you know offhand?
Word.
Yeah, I don't know the exact words, but I'm paraphrasing here. He said something along the lines of, so actually, with one thing I left out with the Wondagurl thing is that she used to do Instagram lives back in the day where she would just be playing beats, and I used to comment and stuff. So she noticed me for me commenting on her Instagram live, and she'd say, "Hey, Genius," whatever, you know. Okay. And then my dad had DM'd her, with that being in the back of her mind, seeing me like in her lives and stuff. DM'd her like, "Yo, this is my son. He produces for whoever, Tory Lanez, whatever. He would love to get in a session to make music with you." And she remembered that I was the same kid that was in her live, that was commenting and showing her love and whatever.
So you and your pops indirectly planted the seed.
Exactly, because he had, because when he told me like, "Yo, you have a session with Wondagurl today," when I was at school. I was like, huh? Like, how? Like, you know, and he told me, yeah, I DM'd her and we're getting it going. Like, you know, she wants to be, I already booked a studio, it was tonight. So it was literally just like, he didn't even know really what I was doing in terms of, you know, me going on live and doing my showing love and stuff.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's
really dope. Like that. And I think one thing that set Wondagurl, like, made her want to answer that as well. And I'm not speaking for her, but what I would think is that she'd seen that I'm a producer, and now she's seen that, yo, I have my pops to support as well, so she has to like respect the story, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
she just wanted to mess with me because I was young, and all of that going on. So
Yeah, as far as what you said about, getting out there and, really interacting with people, with COVID being what it is now, it's a little difficult for most people. But I think after a morning show, or it might have been TV's Cook Up, one of the team producer grind gurus, TB, had mentioned, as far as getting placements and getting notice, he just go to the studio. Sometimes he pays for studio time just to be in the studio, not necessarily to cook up, just to
yeah,
interact with people and all the other good stuff.
Yeah.
So I took that to heart, and I booked a studio session out in Tampa, probably one of the bigger studios in Tampa, for about 4 hours, like $100,
right.
right? So, most of the time I'm going to be in there cooking up, but, I'm going to probably carve out an hour just to walk around and walk into people's sessions just to see what's going on, just to, let people know I'm here, right?
Yeah,
Hell
exactly.
This is who I am.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a studio that's similar to that in Toronto called Terminal 16 that I used to go to, and that was a studio which I met Francis Scott Heat at and made a bunch of Killy songs at. And this studio was just this guy named Jude just told me to keep pulling up, keep pulling up. I fuck with you. I messaged you, so keep pulling up. So I was just going to that studio and showing face, and I met so many people from Toronto there, like a lot of people, So
Yeah,
really,
I mean, I think everyone should do. I'm actually going to try to lay the charm down on the secretary at the front desk. So maybe pull up the roster for all the appointments coming up. Give me the heads up on those those top artists that are coming through
Right.
once in a while. But yeah, man, it's important to get out there. I agree with you 100%. Does your dad still make beats, and do you two collab at all?
No, my dad does not make beats anymore. Unfortunately, no, because there's times where I joke around with him. I'm just like, yo, let's make another beat, But
Yeah.
like, he knows his role. Like, you know what I mean? He sticks as a manager, and I stick as the producer.
All right, so he doesn't give like feedback, or you don't ask him for his opinion on something, or
nah, because like I've surpassed him on a producing sense.
okay.
Obviously not on a business sense, but I surpassed him on a producing sense, and that's not me saying that. It's what he's telling me. So I don't really ask him anymore, like what my advice or like advice for this beat is good or not. He just like sits there and just bops his head or stuff, And he really doesn't even have time to make beats. Like he doesn't at all because
he's
he
too
does
busy managing you.
Exactly. So
yeah. Okay. And what's your production output like, as far as the number of tracks in a day, a week? What's your output?
I don't know. Sometimes I'll be on my laptop and be making beats for like 6 hours and come up with one that I like. And sometimes I'll be on for 6 hours and come up with 10 or 15 I like, Yeah, but I just know like I always go and make music, you know what I mean? I have like I never force myself to make beats ever. It's really just I have the feeling to make beats all the time. You know what I mean? But if I'm not feeling like making beats, I really won't make a beat. No matter what situation I'm in. So.
Yeah. What do you do besides making beats? You play video games and stuff, or no?
Yeah. Sometimes I play video games. Sometimes I link with like some of my brethrens. Go just link people. Other things I do really is just like read.
You want to see it? You on Warzone, Modern Warfare?
Yeah, sometimes.
We got a link. We got a link. Last question. You had made a statement about you had responded to Dylan's question about what you put on your master, and you said the soft clipper and a little bit of reverb situationally, right?
Yeah.
And then you made a very interesting statement that there were no rules to to this production thing, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the rules? What are some of the standards? Well, the production standards that we've all heard and seen, and which one of them have you broken, and how have you broken them? For example, like they always say the 808 has to be in mono, has to be dead center. For me, that's BS, right? I do whatever I want with the 808. I'll pan the hell out of them, whatever, right? So what are some of the standards that you've kind of broken the rules on and has worked for you without giving up too much of your sauce, of course?
Yeah, no. People always say, basses can't be clashing, or your beats can't be muddy. I like making muddy beats sometimes. Like the sound and the tone that you get out of it is incredible. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's when you mix a certain sound and have your 808 clashing with this bass and this certain sound, and then they're on the same key, and it makes that certain tone. You know, that's you can't be replicated off of that. You know what I mean? Because only you did that.
For sure.
So, I mean, yeah, I sometimes, you know, I don't really like my beats. Some people's beats, to me at least, sound too clean. And I feel like clean beats aren't sick. You know what I mean? If your mix is really good, it's not a good beat to me, at least. You know what I mean? I don't want my beats are mixed. Like, I can mix a incredible record. You know what I mean? You can give me stems or anything I can mix, but I don't want my stuff to sound too clean, because then, like,
you lose the grit.
Exactly. And the grit is what makes it sick. If you listen to like old Nas, One Mic by Nas, like, you know, those are gritty records. Like, you know, those are the dirty, gritty, muddy records, you know, and those, and everyone still listens to those to this day. So shouldn't that tell you something? You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So.
You know, that was my last question, but now I have one last question. What is, I mean, obviously you've heard a lot of Nas songs and Mobb Deep songs. What's your favorite of the two artists that you can remember?
Mobb Deep, I cannot put a favorite Mobb Deep song. There's too many, but definitely for Nas, definitely is One Mic. 100%.
Nice.
Like,
that's
100% is One Mic. Yeah,
that's what's up, man. Yo, Jenius, I appreciate the time, man. This was one of the better QA sessions that I've had. All of them were pretty good, but you and your dad kind of make it special for me, because my dad gave me a lot of what I know to this day, so I try to incorporate a lot. So yeah, man, much success to you, man. I appreciate the time.
Good luck.
Yes, sir, man. Always dope having you on, bro.
Yeah. All right, brother. Be good.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Let's bring the next guest in, man. Liz 10. Liz 10's been in here since the beginning, man. Shout out to you. Hopefully he didn't fall asleep waiting in the waiting room. Is he gonna join? Give him a couple more seconds here. What's going on, chat? They said they don't even listen to Nas Young King. They don't know about that, says Rod Nizzle. Hey, man, you got to get in. You got to tap in. You got to get in tune. All right, Liz 10, man. We gave you enough time, man. Unfortunately, back to the waiting room. Let's get Jarrell in here. It's the best story for real, says Keegan Beats. Nah, for real, man. Like, you made it easy for me, man. Like, I didn't have to pry out story from you. Like, you told it in a nice sequential order. It's really dope, man.
Appreciate it.
Jarrell, what's going on, gang?
What's going on, CEO Dylan?
What's good, bro? Hey, I see the palm trees, man. Where you tapping in from?
I'm tapping in from LA.
Oh, that's what's
fire.
Yes, sir. Shit.
Slight flex. He had to walk outside. He's like, yeah, I'm a flex real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk the block, bro.
What's going on this morning, though, bro? Yeah, smash that like button. Appreciate you, DX, man. If you guys are here, man, hit that like button. We only got 70 likes, man. Let's get that ratio up. Jarrell, we kind of losing you. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's my fault. I said, how y'all morning though, bro?
Doing good, man.
Good.
How about you?
Regular. I woke up to the notification. I was like, damn, it's been a minute since I popped up in here.
Okay,
So
hell
I
yeah.
was like, cracking with it. I seen Jenius up in here.
Facts. The young
Right.
goat.
But I just wanted to talk about like really stemming out and branching out your business. I mean, because being a producer, that's like having your own business. So when you're able to branch out and meet other people, what you think you should tell them, like straight up off the jump? What you think what should come out their mouth?
When I go and I approach someone, most of the time I meet somebody, it's like I'm being introduced to someone or someone's introducing them to me. But if I'm going up to someone, I'm gonna show them what I do. I'm like, yo, I'm a producer. I'm 18 years old. My name is Jenius. I've produced and if I know who the person is, I'd be like, yo, your boy Travis, like I produced for him, or your boy Shek, I'll produce for him, just to instantly give that connection, you know what I mean? To show like, yo, I'm not no random, like know each other mutually. And if I, even back in the day when I didn't have anything going on, I was like, yo, I'm that young kid on the rise. Like, you have to come mess with me. If you don't mess with me now, you're gonna have to eventually, you know? So, and that's usually how it went. That's how it went to this day. The people that weren't messing with me now are starting to come back around. And, you know, I remember, you know, I have good memories. So I remember that. So when I approach people, it's really just, you know, show them what you're about. You don't necessarily have to say your accolades or whatever. Just show them what you can do and what separates you from the rest. You know what I mean? So just tell them, like, yo, I'm a producer. I got a different sound. Like, you know, I come from this area and, you know, just get it going. And if they don't message you now, they're going to eventually if you stay true to yourself. So, you know, that's really how I go about it.
All right, Genius, CEO Dylan, I'm an upcoming producer. My beat's really hard as hell. I just started like taking this real serious like a few months ago. So I just learned from the best. His name Jenius, bro. Told me just let him know straight up. So I'm like, okay, yeah, let's let him know.
Hell yeah.
We trying to make work out here, dog.
Facts.
I can't be like that, bro. I'm gonna make it up. I'm gonna make it up, though.
Sir.
Let me see. Hey, this got a time limit, Dylan?
No, you good, bro.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I just been finding it, I just wake up in the morning, like 6 o'clock, just gonna make me a beat, bro. And then from there, matter of fact, what I've been having to do, like, I'm trying to get a rapper on my joint, like a regular, like a real rap, not a real rapper, you feel me? Like everybody a real rapper. I mean, like somebody with some followers, with some fans.
You're out in the right city.
Yeah, you're in the right city. And I don't think you should focus necessarily on if they have a certain amount of followers. Just if you listen to their music and you actually like it, I think you should work with them. That's what I did. That's what I did in Toronto, and I worked with people from back in the day, and they're lit now. You know, so because you never know who the next. Just like you're on the come up, the rapper's on the come up too. So you never know. You could do the record with the rapper, and you guys could be popping sick, like the Baby and Jetson, or like a Drake and Boy Wonder. You know, on type. Just from working with him. If you really like their music, you know what I mean? If you don't, then just keep it pushing. But you know what I mean? Those rappers of followers are gonna come, you know? They're gonna come eventually.
It's gonna come into place for sure. As long as you staying consistent, like with your dreams, everything like that. Everything will fall into place for sure. Yeah,
because I mean if you have records out, people are gonna hear how people rap on your beats. So it's better to just work with, you know, keep working, because you don't want to just keep waiting for the big rapper to come and then you have one song with a big rapper and then that's it. That's all you have in your discography. You know what I mean? Then you're really, because you know,
I think another important piece too is you got to keep working, but as Genius says, you got to always strive to be being the best you that you can possibly be. And that boils down to the big picture. Like, was this past month? Was I being the best me I could be? This today, what am I doing to be the best me? This hour, what am I doing right now? I'm sitting down. What could I do? Should I pick up the controller and play, you know, video games, or should I, you know, not even just sitting there and make beats? That might not even be being the best version of you, because there's other pieces to that puzzle. So you gotta be.
That's where I've been at right now. Like I used to make like 5 beats a day type things, and they were rocking like, I know, like, oh, let me just go put on a 5-minute beat type shit, like some real beats and shit. And I started just falling out, trying to get my mind state right. Like just start branching out, coming with ideas, how to get these beats out there. Cause that's the most important. You could have a million beats that's really knocking #1 on the Billboard, but if you ain't putting them out, there ain't no point in making it. So I think most importantly, like Dylan was saying, like really just have your head straight. Like there's other priorities out here. This is a whole life. There ain't just one house on the block. There's fucking 16 type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even for me, like as I said earlier, I don't know if you're tuned in them times, but I was like, I was handing out mixtapes when I was 11, fam, 4th, 5th grade, like handing out my instrumental tapes, you know? So you gotta just put in the work, bro. Like, you know, there's nothing more important than, you know, doing and putting in the work and doing those type of things, especially early on, because one, people, when they see you later, are gonna respect you more. and 2, you get the experience from doing it instead of having to wait until you're actually sick and then do something like that, because then you won't know what you're doing. So definitely go ahead and just, you know, do what you got to do, because you'll get the most experience out of that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, most importantly is that respect. People come down with respect.
Yeah.
You ain't got no respect, you ain't got nothing.
Exactly.
These dogs, they gotta respect me, so they don't bark
at me. Hey man, hold on, man. This chat is getting too freaky, man. They're asking me to show my feet on screen, man. I don't know what type of podcast you think this is. You gotta sign up for my OnlyFans if you want to see my feet.
Me in the chat, bro.
Huh? Nah, they're talking about no feet game, man. I got a foot fetish OnlyFans if you guys want to tap in. But other than that, I ain't showing my feet.
Hey, y'all some fools, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, man, we appreciate you tapping in, bro.
Hey, I appreciate you having creating an opportunity, big dog.
Yes, sir, man.
Hey, y'all gonna see this face, bro.
I was just about to say, man, we'll see you soon, bro. Keep tapping in, man.
Yeah, I will for sure. Y'all take it easy. Have a good day.
Sir.
Drink some water. Drink some water for sure.
You did, man. Gotta follow up the coffee with the water.
Yeah, the coffee over there. Yes, sir.
All right, bro.
All right, G.
All right, man. DX, man. Let's see what DX is talking about, man. You still with us, Genius? Oh, there you go. Yeah. Look, froze for a second. Genius is like, y'all talking about feet fetish OnlyFans. I'm stepping back, man. I'm not participating in that.
Yo, what's the deal, y'all?
Yo, why did you start this? Why did you start this foot talk, man? It goes back to you, man. I'm glad you joined. This is a perfect time.
Yo, man. People in the chat are like, yo, no socks gang. I don't want to go off the subject. Genius, how you doing, my brother?
I'm good. I'm
veteran. Hey, man, I'm definitely part of the Caribbean gang. I just wanted to tap in because as soon as I heard, you was Jamaican, I had to tap in as well. And once again, what's up, CEO? This is episode 52, fam. 52?
Yes, sir, 52. Yeah.
Doing it big. Genius, I just want to say congratulations on all your success. I love what you got going on over there. I love what you did with Killy. You're also on the Jackboys joint too. What to do, right?
Right, yeah.
Awesome fucking joint. I got that shit on repeat. I love it. And I relate because I know the whole Caribbean thing, the whole vibes. I had to tap in because a lot of people from Toronto come on this show, and I don't, or people who are part of the scene, and we even got some people who are part of the community who are from Canada, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about like Cardinal Official and stuff like that. Who, like, every time I hear some Canada talk, I kind of got to jump in and talk about Cardinal because he's kind of like the one. If you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, who kind of put on for anybody who was not American but was from Canada. You know,
are you from Toronto?
No, I'm actually from LA. I'm Belizean and Guatemalan, so it's a lot of similarities between both cultures and stuff like that. And I just love Cardinal. Cardinal is the truth. And I just wanted to ask you, what advice do you have for like young up and comers who do have like this crazy bounce? You're from a different type of a different community or a different background, and you have this crazy bounce, because I get a lot of flack for the bounce in my shit, and it's because of that. I didn't start speaking English till I was 8 years old, and all I listened to was reggae and Spanish music, up until like my teens. So my bounce is kind of crazy. What advice do you have for people who like have this crazy bounce, have this their own style, and it's not really meshing with what's current, with what's right now?
Well, you can't ignore what is going on. And you can't completely ignore what's going on and what has already happened.
Right.
So definitely tap in with what is going on and what is, has happened already in terms of a producing sense, and what has trends in music. Everyone back in 2013, 2014 was on a Lex Luger. Then there was a Young Chop, and then, so you got to see what the trends are. Now everyone's on the Jetson and all that. You got to just see what's going on.
How do you blend your flavor with
I'm about to get to that. Okay, I'm about to get to that. So try and make it. You know what I mean? If you can't, obviously you won't be able. Yeah, just try and make it. If you can't, you can't make the. Obviously, I can't go and make a Jetson beat, or I can't go and make a Metro beat, or but I can make a Genius beat,
right?
Perfectly, because it's my sound. and you can make a DX beat because that's your DX, you know.
What is to you? What is I don't know. You probably don't want to give up the sauce, but what is exclusively Genius level? What is you like? What is something like if let's say we took somebody's type beat, somebody's Jetson type beat, or somebody's Young Sizzle type beat, and then you throw your shit on it. What is exclusively what you're gonna throw on it? And like, yo, we know that's a Genius level type.
I see, the thing with me is I switched it up, but I think the way I lay down drums and specifically drums, and I'm able to mesh my melodies together, the sonics, and the way, if you listen to reggae, really you can hear the bounce in my beats straight up. And the way I bop to my beats, and I'm just like, yo, I'm really on that type of time. I'm really myself, and I put myself as my music. Nobody can make anything that I make. And just like nobody can make you, if you put yourself into your music, nobody can make what you make. And if you're having trouble with your bounce, really just try and make one of those Jetson beats. And if you can't, and obviously you won't be able to, but you're going to get the experience from, seeing how it sounds like, or how you could try to get to that. And there you can find your flavor of how to incorporate what's going on right now and what you got going on. Really, because I was making Lex Luger beats back in the day as just for fun. Like, I wasn't making that to get no placements, but I was doing that because I'm like, yo, I really like this guy's sound. Let me try and use my...
discovered yourself in the process of making those beats.
Exactly. Let me see here, put my pizzicatos or my brass, my Nexus Hollywood grand piano, my brass, Hollywood brass, put together and make all those different types of beats. And I was trying that. And obviously I wasn't making those beats sick, because they weren't me, but I got the experience from knowing, yo, I can't make those beats, but I can put my own flavor on whatever is going on. So it's really just, you'll find it.
That's wonderful, man. I think you're surrounded by good people. It's awesome to have that relationship that you have with your dad, and the people that surround him. You got to understand, yo, this community loves you. We love what you're doing, Genius. Shout out to Wondagurl. Shout out to the whole. Shout out to Brampton. Shout out to Scarborough too. I mentioned Cardinal from Scarborough. Man. Stay doing what you're doing, bro. We proud of you here in the Producer Grind community. We love what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
Dylan, episode 52, bro. I can't wait to episode 100, man. I love what you're doing, man.
Appreciate it, man. We're gonna get there, man. We're definitely gonna get there.
Genius, thanks for coming on. Dylan, thanks for having me on. And you guys have a good one, bro.
Alrighty, man.
Appreciate it.
Love the never ending support, gang.
Indeed.
Good looks, bro.
All right, man. Let's you got time for a couple more, Genius?
Yeah, for sure.
Bet it up. We appreciate you, man. Nick Degree. Get Nick Degree in here. What you got going for the rest of the day, man?
I am not too sure. I might just be making beats and probably go to the studio later.
Okay.
I don't know, it's really early, so I gotta see what's going on with the word out in the streets.
Nick Degree, man, join it up, man. Join the audio, or we're gonna have to. All right, keep it pushing. Chris 90s. Chris 90s. Are you coffee gang, Genius? You drink coffee or no?
No, I just drink water. I just be drinking water, and I have my water here. Actually, but
gotta join coffee gang, man.
I used to be on a crazy. I used to be on a crazy tip. I used to drink like iced coffee here and there. Like I used to go to like back in the day, way early on, like grade 9 when I was first in grade 9. I used to go to like parties and stuff, go link with girls or whatever. And after I'd get home late, like I'd get home like 3-4 in the morning, but I knew I didn't make no beats since forever, like a whole day. So I would go to McDonald's before and get an iced coffee, and then another couple of beats before I went to sleep.
Hell yeah. I used to go to Persey, man, mute that YouTube, bro.
I got you. Hey, yo, so I had a quick question. I'm just eating breakfast. So,
what you eating, man? Eggs?
Oh,
bacon?
Yeah, I just
Toast?
made some eggs and chicken. Gotta get these gains in.
That shit looks lit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep. So I had a quick question. So I just recently, about like 2-3 months ago, got my first placement with a major up and coming artist. I just dropped in the interview too, but I've been trying to ask you guys this. So yeah, I hit up a couple lawyers, and I still haven't gotten any like reply. I know the song is about to hit 100K though. So I wanted to ask, you know, Jenius or you guys, what you guys would do in that situation when I didn't really get any paperwork, any like payment for it.
Gosh, man, you gotta lawyer up, bro. Like, you don't have a lawyer yet?
No, not really. I was just.
I mean, you gotta find one. That's like that's super important. I mean, I have my pops that handles all of that with the lawyer and got my lawyers and stuff. But you gotta definitely like that's important because I mean, if you're really trying to get paid, you really gotta have a lawyer. So the only people that the only people to be able to handle your paperwork, so people aren't messing with you and stuff. For me, like I know, like obviously there's work for hire contracts and all that. Those are the ones that people say will scam you out of your business. But I mean, those are illegal in Canada. You can't even have work for hire contracts. So nobody can try me on,
they're illegal for real.
Yeah. So you can't even have no work for hire where people just pay you and then take all the royalties. So
wow.
I'm already from there. I'm already protected in a sense, but people can still try one too. But I just most importantly find a lawyer, like, and if you can't find one, ask someone who has one. Like that's the most important thing. Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm focusing on now, because at first I was just focusing on the music, you feel me? Like I was like working with this one artist. I don't want to really say his name. I don't want to put names out there, but I know he's like, I'm pretty sure he signed to Lyrical Lemonade and all that. But we were in the studio and all that. He hit me up the day before he dropped the song and I was like, yeah, let's drop it. They never mentioned anything about paperwork. I just wanted to have some sort of work out there because that only opened up doors for me. So now, like, I'm trying to get ready for like another placement that comes up. I'm gonna be like, "Yo, hit me with that paperwork and that payment and all that." You feel me? It's just like I'm in a weird situation right now.
I feel that. I mean, there's certain situations where I haven't got paid. Back in the day, it's really just a learning experience. That happens to everybody. People will try, release music without you getting paid and stuff. I mean, it happens all the time, and it would happen to people you wouldn't even expect it to happen to. So just literally get a lawyer. That's like the only advice I can give you, really. To be honest.
Do you think it's worth it to like keep chasing it though right now?
Like chasing a lawyer?
No, I'm saying like that certain placement. Like get a lawyer and like add like, because I don't really know who to hit up for this, or like if I should even pursue like, I don't know, like opening a case or whatever. You feel me?
I mean, it's important to you touch upon it, and but you just gotta focus on getting a lawyer. Once you get a lawyer, and then keep it pushing. After that, you get a lawyer, tell them the situation, and then keep it pushing. I don't think you should. I don't think you should put your whole time and invest into that. Continue to make beats and get your placements. This stuff happens, so you just gotta keep going with it. So
okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the only thing I really had ask about. But thank you though, I appreciate it.
For sure.
All right, man.
All right,
hey Dylan, thank you.
Yes,
by the way, too. For sure, I've learned so much about this. The way I got that last placement was like the Charlie interview when he was like send beats out every night, like at 9 p.m. That's what I did, and that's how I got it.
Let's go.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir, man.
All right, see you guys later.
Yeah.
Hey, man. One thing I meant to ask too appreciate the chat for reminding me. Just so you guys know, on the Jackboys album, he produced "What to Do" alongside London Sear and Mike Dean. So did you do that in person with Mike Dean?
No. So what had happened was me and London made the beat in the session in front of everyone, and then they recorded the song, and then like I had played a melody. You'll hear it's do do do. You hear a melody in that. I had played that, and then Mike Dean replicated that melody that I had played.
Okay.
And like he added the synths and whatever, but like majority of the beat is me and London, like almost all of it, except for like the little synths at the end and guitars and violin and whatnot. But yeah.
Well, man, what would you say, man, if you could boil it down to just the best advice that you could leave all 200? So we got 235 people tapped in on YouTube, and we got 33 people tapped in. So about 270 people, man, watching right now. And, you know, for the people that are going to continue to watch this for years after on YouTube, what is the best advice you could really boil down that you would give any any aspiring producer right now?
Two things. First thing being, know yourself and know where you came from and what had got you to the point of what you're watching me right now. Everything that's led up to you watching me say this exact sentence. Know that, because if you don't know that, then you don't know where you're going. If you don't know your past, you don't know your future. Second thing I would say is go outside. Like, go outside and be in people's, not in people's faces, but go in, you know what's going on in your city. You know what I mean? I don't know. I know what's going on in my city. I don't know what's going on in other people's cities, but they should know because they live there, you know? So see what the local things you have going on or whatever, because being outside is experience, and experience is education. So you want to go outside to, you know, not only know about yourself, but know about how people around you move in that specific area, because you might find some similarities and understand that might help you understand yourself a little bit better. So, you know, definitely go outside. Don't stay in your room on a computer all day making beats, because obviously you're going to do that. You know what I mean? You're going to have to make beats. That's forever going to be there. Focus on the other stuff. I feel like that's what's, I mean, for me, when I started focusing on other stuff, that's where I started seeing a lot of success. So, and I can guarantee any other producer that you have on here could say that as well. You know what I mean? So, definitely those two things: going outside and know where you're going, because if you don't, or know where you came from, because if you don't know where you came from, you won't know where you're going. So those two things specifically.
Fire, man. Fire advice, man. I'll hit the gen button one more time, man. And like I said, man, appreciate, you know, the way you told your story is fire, man. It's very inspiring. I know that everyone watching this morning, at the very least, has been left with a super inspiring, super motivating. Hopefully everybody leaves this and gets to work, man. Not only cooking up beats, but, you know, getting that networking game on. And I know it's quarantine, but, you know, we can still move around, and you know, I mean, we can still make some moves. But hey, man, appreciate you one more time. And
I appreciate you too for having me on, and I appreciate, you know, the event that you did on 16 and getting me out there and everything. Good looks, brother.
Most definitely, man. Hey, man, we definitely look forward to continue to watch you grow and continue to watch, you know, your story unfold. And
right.
Hey, man, it's only up from here. So appreciate you one more time, man. We'll tap back in.
Good looks, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, that wraps up today's episode, man. What's going on with the chat, man? I don't know. I feel like the head ass gang toxicity is leaking over into the morning show, chat, man. And we can't let the takeover happen. So we got to keep it gemified. We got to keep it solid for the morning show. But yeah, man, make sure you guys go tap in. I'll show you one more time. Go tap in to follow Jenius right now. We'll share the screen. Go tap in right now and follow Jenius at Jeniuslevel. Like I said, man, tap in, send him some melodies, network, whatever you guys want to do, and just, you know, stay in touch with him. And then also, you know, I mean, you can hit that link in the description below to go grab your free BEATMAKER sticker pack right now. Just pay shipping and we'll send it out. Join the Telegram. Hit the link below to join our Telegram and tap in. You know what I mean? Shoot me a text on Text Gang. Tomorrow, we got a dope interview lined up with Wishmaster Beats. Wishmaster is an OG for selling beats online. This man was back before the SoundClick days, mp3.com days, elevated to the SoundClick days, elevated to BeatStars. Now he's on, he's still killing on BeatStars. He's also in the funnel game. He's part of MIDI Money. He's one of the coaches at MIDI Money, super affiliated with Gabe and AD. I had a chance to meet him when I was up in Nashville. He's actually based in Nashville. So I had a chance to meet him when I pulled up to the MIDI Money weekend in Nashville. Super inspiring story, man. Can't wait to get him out tomorrow. You know, this is actually the first funnel producer. I know we've been talking a lot about funnels in our call-in shows and stuff like that. But it's going to be dope to have a funnel producer live on the show so we can, get the inside scoop on how all these producers that have tapped into the funnel game, how they're doing, because he works one-on-one. He's going to be able to know, like, what are some of the, he's going to be able to let us know, like, what are some of the biggest mistakes producers make when they first start selling beats or when they first start their funnel. What type of things in the funnel really sets producers apart? Is it the email marketing? Is it the Facebook ads? What is it? What is like the most important part when you do step in and, start your journey for funnels? Gabe's going to be on the morning show too. I've talked to Gabe. Gabe's going to tap in with us in August. We got something special planned for Gabe. But yeah, man, we're definitely going to get more funnel producers regularly on the show because I think that, we've had a lot of producers. We've had Ant Chamberlain. We've had Pario. We've had Pale Cloud. We've had TNT. We've had all these producers that are making a killing selling beats online. And in the traditional way. So it's the morning show, entrepreneurship grind. So we're definitely gonna get some funnel producers in here. Just join the Telegram. Hey, salute to the Telegram joiners. TB's got a master's degree in roasting. Yes, he does. I'm actually about to go tap in with TB. TB, you at the studio already, bro? About to go pull up on TB and get some content in, man. TB is in the city. He's in Atlanta. And that's what the rest of my day is gonna look like. Just tapping in with Head Ass Gang. They're probably gonna roast me as soon as I walk in the session. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys as always. We will be back tomorrow, every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Let's go.